I feel like my entire childhood was kind of unique. I mean, um, most kids don't grow up in a radio family, and so I did. And my dad was he was the hottest DJ. So sometimes, he had the morning show, and then sometimes he would do the afternoon drive. It just depended because he ran stations, so he kind of would make his own schedule. But I think he preferred doing the morning show because that's kind of like, that and the afternoon drive are the two biggest, listening day. But he was shotgun Ken Shepherd, and he worked at a lot of different formats through the course of my childhood. Like when I was born, he was doing rock radio, and then he did country for a while, and then he went back to rock, and then he did top 40 and active rock at main. It's all this stuff. But as a result, I grew up listening to all kinds of music. I got to go to every concert that came through town because because he ran the radio station, he always had tickets and backstage passes to go meet the bands because they wanted him to play their music. And so I got to watch a lot of the behind the scenes action, for the touring industry, which I had no idea at the time that I was going to become a professional touring musician myself.
Well, as it turns out, and by the way, we do have a little bit of that. Maybe it's where you are. I know you're in a far flung spot, if you will, not that far, but it's fine. I hear you fine. You're getting kind of frozen on the screen. Every frozen shot of you is just lovely, so don't worry about that. But we'll just keep going. We'll,
All right.
we'll keep rocking through that.
Okay.
That's pretty cool to tell that story, and it really is a fun atmosphere. I'm super passionate about radio, and sounds like your dad was as well, and then that helped you get to where you were. Happy 30th anniversary, Ledbetter Heights. Let's talk about
Yeah.
that. How you're commemorating and celebrating and honoring 30 years of that epic project of yours and the debut.
Yeah, so yes, 30 years of Ledbetter Heights, that's a big anniversary for me. That's my debut record. That is literally the music and the album that introduced me and my band to the world. And it's what helped us build this connection with our audience that's now been with us for over 3 decades. And we're doing this tour where we play every song off the Ledbetter Heights album live in concert for the very first time ever. We've never done that before. So you get to hear every song from that record. And, that album came out back in the time where people actually bought albums and listened to the entire record. So our fans are familiar with all of these songs, but they haven't heard us play a lot of these songs in the last 29 years. So it's been a lot of fun doing this show. It's been incredibly well received by the fans. We went in the studio and we recorded a new version of the Ledbetter Heights album that's going to come out on May the 8th. So we didn't try and reinvent the album, and we also didn't try and recreate it. So we kind of just brought it into like 2026. It's like this is what this band with Noah Hunt on vocals, because he didn't sing on the original,
Yeah, yeah.
but this is what this band sounds like doing this record in 2026. And that helps prepare us for the tour as well.
So I was in San Francisco for the Super Bowl working, and I took an Uber back from the venue, and we were on our way back from just working the Super Bowl. I didn't actually go to the game. If the Colts were playing, I would have been at the game. But the Colts, that's my team because I was born and
Right?
raised in Indianapolis. I got a horseshoe back there. And rest in peace to your dear friend Jim
I see
Ursay.
it.
I'd like to tell you
Yeah.
I'm very sorry for that loss
Yeah.
because I know that you guys were very good friends, and he was always really wonderful to the media in Indianapolis as well. But I'm on my way
Yeah.
back to the Super Bowl, and we get this driver who I think was Russian. I'm not positive where the driver was from. And he's got like Johnny Lang on, and then he goes into Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he's just like, he doesn't even have his hands on the wheel. He's just like, you're playing his air guitar while he's driving. Like, dude, put your hands on the wheel. But anyway, Precious Cargo, right? And then one of your songs comes
Right.
on. He goes, this is in his accent. I'm not even going to try to say it. This is my guy. He was like, this. And I think it was Born with a Broken Heart. I'm pretty sure it was Born with a Broken Heart. I'm
Yeah.
not positive, but Born with a Broken Heart, I think it was. And he just, I mean, there was so much joy in this man for all of these. You could tell he was clearly a guitar guy if he's going from Johnny Lang to SRV to Kenny Wayne Shepherd. How
Hmm.
does that make you feel to know that people feel when they hear your music? They actually have these joyous, wow feelings in live or when they just put a song on if they're an Uber driver.
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, that's the goal. It's like that's my entire reason for making music is to try and use my instrument and to write songs that hopefully make people feel something when they listen to it, and for them to have a reaction from the inside out, you know? And so when I hear that, it makes me feel like, yeah, I'm on the right track. I've been doing the right thing. This is what I set out to do in the first place. This is what makes it all worth it, for sure.
And Cincinnati is the home of Noah Hunt. So people
That's
love
right.
themselves some Noah Hunt. And it is kind of interesting, because you're bringing him back into the fold for the album that he didn't originally sing on. And so
Right.
tell me a little bit more about Noah Hunt and his role in all of this and your role singing any songs in the evening.
Yeah. Yeah, so as time has gone on in my band, I have become more active in singing lead vocals. On the first album, I only sang one song, and I did that very reluctantly. It was a song called Riverside.
Mhm.
And because I sounded like a kid back then, when I opened my mouth, when I played guitar, I sounded beyond my age. But when I opened my mouth to sing, I sounded like a kid. So I didn't really like the sound of my voice. And that's why for years I had other people doing the vocals. And then eventually I started working my way into it. And now Noah and I share the vocal responsibilities. But he's been in the band since the second record. A lot of people have wondered what the first album might have sounded like if he would have been in my band since day one. So now they get to hear that with the new version that comes out on May the 8th. But a lot of these songs, like several of them, he's been singing for a long time. Like Deja Voodoo's been in and out of the set list a lot over the years, and Born with a Broken Heart and Aberdeen to a lesser degree. But those songs he's been singing them longer than the original guy ever sang them. So these other songs, it was just good to have him. It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like I think it's appropriate to have him sing on a version of the Ledbetter record. But one of the interesting things is when that album came out and we toured for the first record, we came and played a show at the Cincinnati Zoo back then, and Noah was actually at that show. So he got to watch, me and my band play before he actually joined my band, like about a year later. And anyways, we love playing the Taft Theater. We love coming to Cincinnati. For me, it feels like a hometown show because of the connection with Noah. And we've got a lot of history there, and that city's really great. And the theater, the Taft Theater, is a great place to play. So it's going to be a killer show, and we're looking forward to coming there and showing everybody good time playing this music for them. I mean, this tour is going to take us at least through November, and we're actually the booking agents are talking about maybe extending it into like the first quarter of next year as well because it's being so well received. So we definitely this is still the beginning stages of the tour for sure. The interesting thing is that there was so much made about how young I was and teen prodigy and this and that. And it's really interesting because you spend so much of your life with this emphasis on how young you are. And then
Mhm.
inevitably, if you live long enough, then you kind of become part of the older generation. But there's no middle ground. It's like you go from being the young guy to the old guy, like really fast, in the blink of
Right.
an eye, it seems like.
Anything that you would do differently and looking over the 30 years from the debut album?
Oh,
Anything,
I don't.
if you take a look, don't you do not take a trip back and go, okay, I do some, I don't, I mean, I do everything the same. I'd be like, I don't have time to even think about it. But do you ever think if there was anything you do differently that you do it
I I don't
different?
really think about that because you can't change the past anyways. I mean, and if I did that, then it would imply that I'm not grateful for the way things have turned out.
Mhm. And I know
And
you are. You're
yeah, so everything's what it should be.
yeah.
And I mean, I think I'm incredibly fortunate to have had the opportunity I had at such a young age and to still be doing this successfully 30 years later. So it's
And
a great thing
well,
about this music is like with this kind of music, you just get better as you get older. You
yeah.
don't, it's like, and I never recorded, like, I wasn't trying to be a pop star. So I wasn't going to sing some cheesy song that then wouldn't sound right for me to sing when I'm 40, 50 years old. Like some of that stuff. It's like those guys they don't think one day you may be middle aged and want to sing this stuff and it's not going to sound right coming out of a person's mouth that's that age. So I never went
Oh,
down that path.
I know because there are some who do, and you're like, no, don't do
Yeah,
that. Don't do that. But
I know.
I mean, there's some that are like, I mean, who I respect a great deal, who are in their, some out there still performing in their 80s, and you just kind of go, and it was pop singer songs that were popular
Hmm.
with my father and probably your dad as well, and you're like,
Right.
oh, don't do that now. But still, I have respect for them and what they've done. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, it's always a delight to talk to you. Whenever you have anything that you need to share and get out there, I'm your gal. You just let me know. The guys were wonderful behind the scenes to team us up today. Can you do me a big favor and tell Noah Hunt that Laura Steele says hi? He'll remember me, of course, from Cincinnati radio, and tell him I said howdy. And
Yeah.
I would come to the show, but I'm going to Sicily, Italy. So um,
Oh,
I
nice.
I'll be thinking of you, but you've got some other shows coming in and around the area. Again, I'll go to your website and I'll find out which one I'm going to come see you at. And if it's going
All
into November,
right.
then it's guaranteed I'll probably come say hi to you at a show. But Kenny, anything else you want to share? Oh, May, talk about May. What's coming out in May? What's being released in May? Talk about the updated version of what we were just talking about earlier. Did you say gave the date May?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, May the 8th. So that's
Hey.
when the new version of Ledbetter Heights comes out. That's, the new bringing Ledbetter Heights into 2026 and with Noah Hunt on vocals and all of that stuff. And so that's coming out May the 8th. And so when you listen to it, you'll have a new experience. It's not going to be like listening to the same old thing. So check it out. And then I'm working on a couple of different records right now. So we'll have a new album out next year as well, which will carry us into a new tour for next year. But right now, and for the foreseeable future, this is the one and only show in the Cincinnati area. So we really encourage everybody to come out and have a great night of music with us.
All right, we'll do that. Check him out. Go to his website. Check out the social media. No, somebody started TikTok. I won't be joining you on TikTok because I'm not a TikTok girl either. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, I hope you have a wonderful rest of this time on the road and a great rest of your day. And peace out. Thank you for the music. Always want to say thank you for bringing us some great music, Kenny.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.